Oh, I'm so excited to be back with you, TJ. And to be talking about, this time we're going to talk about, because we actually did talk a little bit about Sirius last time as part of the dream. And I'll put the link in the show notes to that video if people missed it, because it's such an amazing story. I highly recommend going and listening to that. But this is going to feature Sirius again with Jupiter and Venus. So Jupiter and Venus are coming together on August 11th in within minutes of being precisely with Sirius according to its the astrological degree of Sirius. And now we would imagine like we'll see Jupiter and Sirius together in the sky, but I mean Jupiter and Venus together in the sky, and then Sirius is going to be below them. And it also happens to be at a time of year when, depending on your latitude, I have a feeling you won't see Sirius that day. It won't have emerged into the morning sky yet. You will see Jupiter and Venus, and you know that Sirius is in that alignment with them. But some of us might. I'm further south. I'm at 32 degrees north latitude, so we might be able to see Sirius that morning. But I have a mountain also in my east view, and so it might not come up before it gets too late. Might not get to see it. Um, but we know it's there, and that influence and that impact. And so something to know is that Sirius is one of the magical stars of the ancient alchemists, and it's the brightest star in our night sky. It's stunning to see Sirius, and it's the wishing star. It's the one that we would say, starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I wish tonight. That was Sirius because it was always the first star that appeared because of how bright it is. And of course, now this is in the morning sky, so it's a whole different story. But Venus and Jupiter the alchemists thought that whenever a planet was within 6 degrees of one of these stars, that the star's energy was amplified. And we could even say it maybe even a wider orb than that could maybe be either 10 degrees on either side. Because when you 10 degrees, they still look pretty close. Like if you put your fist out and you put a star on one side and a planet on the other side or something, that's 10 degrees. So that's considered a conjunction by many ancient cultures. Anyway, so we've got this coming up. And one of the reasons I'm very excited that TJ's back with me is that she has a Cancer moon within minutes of being aligned with Sirius. So not only is she going to have this experience, um, Venus and Jupiter are magnifying her moon. So basically, and she shared with me that she's already having experiences related to this. And because I was saying, I feel like it's already happening. It's like we're already in the energy of this, and we want to really be conscious of how we want to tune in and to connect with the possibility, the high magic of Jupiter and Venus together. And oh, by the way, you're going to see how much brighter Venus is than Jupiter when they get together. So, TJ, with all that, I'm gonna turn this over to you and see what you have to say in terms of what you're personally experiencing.
Thank you, Galen. So you're right. Up here, we don't actually see the heliacal rise of Sirius until the end of August because we are too far north. And as far as seeing Venus, I must admit, I don't always have the fortitude to stay up that late. So our sunsets are around at the solstice point are hit around 11:30ish, give or take. And so by the time the skies are dark enough for the planets and the stars to really show up, we're talking into the midnight or beyond. And then the light starts to rise at 4 a.m. So we
Yeah,
have
so the good news is this is happening at in the morning sky, but you have to be up early enough before the sun comes up to be able to see it. And it sounds like for you that might be like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, if it's going to
right.
be dark enough for you to be able to see all that. I mean, I see Jupiter. I mean, I see Venus right now at around 4:35 a.m. Pretty high. If I was getting up earlier, I could maybe see her rise over the mountain, but I haven't been doing that. So I hear you on that.
Well, and that's just it, right? If I'm willing to schedule that time, which on that day I will be scheduling that time. Actually, one of my hobbies is jewelry making. And so my goal and intent is to actually create talismans to honor the conjunction right at that precise moment and birth them into the world.
I
And
love
so,
that so much because that's what the ancient alchemists did. They made their talismans when planets were with the magical stars, because then it would be infused with that energy and magnified by the fact that that energy is with, and we have the two brightest planets coming together to be with Sirius, even if you can't see it, that energy is still there. Oh,
yeah,
that's so good.
exactly. Exactly. The energy is still there for us to tap into. So even so it's already going to be this beautiful benevolent meeting of star and planets for the world, and for myself even I feel more so because it's going to bless my moon. Uh, it will be within about a degree of my moon is where it's going to be at. So it here again in my location, we're looking at 14 degrees and 3 minutes will be the conjunction of Jupiter, the exact conjunction of Jupiter and Venus. And my moon is at 15 degrees.
Right.
So,
Sirius is at like 1425. So, I mean, 60 minutes in a degree, that it's super close.
yeah, very close. Close enough. I'll
Oh,
take it.
yeah, I will too. I love that.
So for myself, my lifestyle, my skill set, I already had anticipated that jewelry was definitely going to be a piece of how this energy was going to get expressed, and through this creative outlet. And so that's definitely already on the agenda. That is the intentional way that I intend to use the energy. Some of the other ways were possibly with real estate, either acquiring more real estate, maybe liquidating some real estate to acquire different real estate. So these are the areas. So I've kept everything very fluid in terms of our mortgages, etc., for the purpose of having the ease once this transit presents itself, so I could take advantage of any opportunities that come along with it. So that was something that was already anticipated. Also, there was a conversation around our RV. Should we replace our RV? Should we not replace our RV? Do I replace my vehicle? Do I not replace my vehicle? So I'd made an intentional choice. I wasn't going to be replacing my vehicle. And lo and behold, I started having some mechanical issues and had to start weighing the pros and the cons of putting more money into my vehicle or replacing my vehicle. Let me say, by the way, my moon is in the third house, which is where the RV and the vehicle comes into play. So I did replace my car with a new to me car, and we are currently in conversation, my partner and I, on whether or not to replace our RV and what type of RV at this stage of our lives is best going to suit our needs. That being said, I've been feeling really called to possibly purchasing a boat. Don't forget that Cancer in there. So another vehicle, but this one a water vehicle. And so vehicles have been really highlighted, and more so than the property. And so that's the piece, I guess, that's taken me a bit by surprise. Um, and then in terms of property, again, we're looking at specifically lakefront property. So that that
Makes the
Cancer
boat
is a
make
real,
sense. That
pardon?
that makes the boat make sense.
Yes, it makes the boat make sense. Exactly. So that's where we're at the moment. And then my daughter and her husband have decided they need an RV now at this time, and have been sending us all these posts of RVs so we can help them choose one. Oblivious, I haven't had this conversation with them, oblivious to what, the cycles at play. So I just have to chuckle because this theme that I'd anticipated to a degree is just, and of course, I guess that's the Jupiter energy at play. It's just being completely blown up. Another way I thought that this energy might manifest is a possibility of my mother coming to visit. The last time my mother was out for a visit was 2011 or 2012. So a very long time ago. She lives across the country, and I spoke to her recently, and she said it is not going to happen at all whatsoever. So there's an X on that. I know that my mother's been dealing with some property stuff as well because my father passed this spring. So since my father's passing, my mother has been contemplating, how she's going to handle the properties that have now come under her um, stewardship. And so that is again how this is already playing itself out. My youngest daughter is currently pregnant with her first child, and out of the blue last week announced that she wants a baby shower, and it will be on this date, which happens to be the week of the conjunction also.
Oh, wow. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, you can make this stuff up, but oh, wow.
Right? And so yeah, I
Where
laughed.
all this going on, right?
I laughed, and she said, "Well, what? Don't I get a baby shower with this being my first pregnancy?" Of course, it's not a matter of whether or not you get a baby shower. It's just I, of course, know the energy that's playing itself out and how it's playing itself out. And so yeah, so I will be attending my daughter's baby shower and helping her organize and plan her baby shower that week also.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah. So th those are very tangible, real world ways things are playing out. And you know, and it's so personal to you. It's like it's of course all this is happening. Like your Cancer moon is like, yeah, feeling the energy already for sure. It's already happening. But for those of us, I don't have I have one planet in Cancer and it's 28 degrees and it's Uranus. So it's not personal. It's a generational. I mean, it's in that sign for 7 years. So I was towards the end of that. But anyway, so that's my only Cancerian planet that I have. And though I've had children and I do have planets in the fourth house and blah blah blah. So I have some connection to that. But what I just feel like this is really an opportunity for us to not only, like what you're describing, the tangible experience of family, the land, the vehicles, the coming of a new grandchild, which is awesome.
My mom,
Your
which is
mom,
cancer,
yeah, exactly. All that's so literal. And
literal.
for some people, it might not feel so literal because it's not what's being activated for them. But here is our opportunity to be tuning in. Jupiter expands. Jupiter's in Cancer. Did a video on Jupiter in Cancer. I'll put that in the show notes also with another friend of mine who's a Cancer moon who talked about her experience as a Cancer moon and and this whole Jupiter piece and how that's coming together. And so and then Venus being right there. So the divine feminine meeting with this expansive Jupiterian energy with Sirius. Uh, and so a magical star. So we can also just tune in and say, what is it that we want to create inside ourselves? How are we living inside ourselves in a way that feels safe, that feels supported, where we feel like we're accepting who we are, we're valuing who we are, we're appreciating and in gratitude. How are we setting the stage for that to get expanded even more at this time? I mean, we're in it now. We'll be in it all this next year. I mean, Jupiter stays in Cancer until the end of June of 2026. So it's a long journey. But this very special moment of meeting with the divine feminine essence, Venus and Jupiter together, also considered in traditional astrology money planets or wealth planets. Like they increase and expand our wealth. So maybe that's what some people are into. And what is wealth to you? Would it be money or would it be more love and time with family and connection to nature? And so what are we expanding in terms of that kind of wealth? Taking care of our health, taking care of our well-being. and the well-being of those around us. So there's so many ways that this could play out if we, based on where we're putting our attention and focusing our attention and our awareness, and to take advantage of this and go out and be outside. Also, when you were talking about making the jewelry, I was like, yeah, if you have stones that you use that you connect with, go put them outside, even on that night, or even the few days before and after, because Jupiter and Venus will be pretty close and they'll be amplifying everything for a while, and then get them infused with that energy. Of course, the sunlight. I mean, Venus is with the sun. I mean, Sirius is with the sun. But interestingly, at the end of July, July 25th, and is the Mayan day at a time, and Sirius and the sunrise on the horizon. So the sun rises here and Sirius rises over here. They're not together because it's way off the ecliptic, but they rise together on that day, on those days. Like, what? And then well, Sirius will start rising before the sun over time because of the way it all shifts. And I know you were saying end of August, and for me, I think early August is possible to start seeing Sirius. Uh, because of latitude. You have to consider where you are and also what your horizon line looks like, because that makes a difference as well. But to really tune into this energy and to work with the magic that's available with this magical star, with these planets amplifying and transmitting directly to the earth this energy, it's such a wondrous time that we have. And it's 11:11 on my clock as I'm saying this. So I always see that's like a confirmation, like this is high magic we want to tune into and to take advantage of, and to pay attention to what's going on and how we can work with the energy in the most productive way possible, and to experience the highest amount of magic and miracles possible. That I think it could be miraculous what happens if we're open to receiving that. So, what do you think?
Well, what struck me as you were speaking is also the fact that Sirius is part of the stellar gateway of ancestral origins, and I think with the fact that this conjunction happens right in smack in the middle of Cancer, and of course, Cancer being ancestral origins, I think rich from a ritualistic standpoint, it would be a phenomenal time to connect to our ancestors, to utilize this energy to really tune in to the ancient matriarchs, and really honor that within ourselves, within our blood, literally, as they live and express themselves through us.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And as we are healing ourselves and creating a way for us to feel safe and supported within ourselves, we're healing the ancestral line as well. So what a great opportunity. I'm getting chills. It's like, thank you for saying that. So good. Because that's why we're here. I think we volunteered to be here to help heal the ancestral lines, but also to help create something new going forward that would be uh, something maybe we've never experienced in any recent memory or any written memory either, for that matter. Uh, wow, this is so good. To work the magic, the sky magic, to be listening, to be tuned in, to create a medicine wheel in your yard if you can, or somewhere on the land, and just really imagine that energy is being drawn into that medicine wheel, and that it can help be radiating out into the world long after the exact conjunction is completed. Yeah.
Which is the purpose of the jewelry that I intend to birth at that moment, so that that energy can be, I you can't capture all of it. It's too vast and too expansive, but to be able to capture it in the sense that through the wearing of it, that each time you touch it, you see it, you're brought back to that place of the expansive love, the expansive, ancestral love specifically, or matriarchal love, the sisterhood. These are the energies that I suspect will very likely be accessible to us as this conjunction happens. And so finding a way to bottle that up so that we can access it down the road, and I think it feels a lot like hope also to
Yeah.
me.
Yes. Beautiful. I love that. I feel like not only hope, but love, because if Venus representing, she's the divine feminine. She represents love. Yes, she represents love in many, many, many different forms. And I know she's often connected to love and relationship, but she's way much more than that. Uh, but she is about the love. So the love, how are we? So Jupiter's helping to amplify that. Sirius is the magical star that helps to amplify all that. So how are we as human beings connecting to the power of love within us? To be more loving to ourselves, to be more loving to each other, to be more loving to the earth, because that will change everything. And they're here to help. They're here to support us in doing that. And so we can definitely focus our attention on that leading up to, on the day of the conjunction, leading past that. It feels so exciting. Yeah. So any last thoughts you have um before we wrap this up?
Well, I just wanted to touch on when you said how very tangible my experiences are already being birthed, and uh, and I wanted to say, to add to that, I have a lot of Earth in my chart, and so even though today we're talking about this, little Cancer moon that has all this goodness coming in, flowing in, the reality is that the rest of me isn't all Cancer. And so outside of that, all that Earth tends to experience things in a very tangible way because that's how I'm.
Literally in your body, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally embody it. Yes. Yeah.
I love it. I think that we all do to some degree, we're just not as aware.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I
Um,
don't have a lot of earth on my chart, but as I've increased my awareness around these things, I feel like I tend to embody it more as well. So you don't have to have a lot of earth to have the experience. You just
no,
have the awareness and invite that to be a part of your experience. I love that you said that. That's really good because sometimes and also the water energy of the Cancerian mysteries and the, the other elements. It's like if I have very little earth, I have one planet in earth and one planet in air. The rest of it's fire and water. But there's ways to cultivate those missing elements into your life. And those of you who feel like you don't really relate to everything that we've been saying, especially the Cancerian aspect of it, this is the time to really, it's like invite that to be part of you. Invite that energy to ignite something within you because we have all of it within us. It's in our DNA. It's just sometimes we haven't accessed it.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, beautiful. So do you have a website where people will be able to get your jewelry, um, especially
Yes.
after it's been created with the
After it's been created. Yeah.
Venus, the Venus Jupiter Sirius conjunction.
Yes. So the website is celestialvibesinc.com.
Okay, so send me that link. I'll put it in the show notes. And make sure people can find you there if they're interested because this is the thing that I love the ancient alchemists did, and that was they made talismans, amulets, potions, elixirs when there were certain alignments with specific stars, and they because they knew it would infuse those pieces with that energy. And it's been something that's been largely forgotten, and now we're getting back. Yay. And I love that you're doing that. So it's so good. And to have the Venus, Jupiter, Sirius piece. So I've been connecting with Sirius. This was my mother's. It's a dolphin jumping over an aquamarine stone, and the aquamarine stone is the most connected to Sirius. And when I was traveling back to my, I just went to my high school reunion. I was traveling back to my childhood days. I was like, taking you with me, Mom. But also the dolphins and the aquamarine energy of Sirius. Dolphins are said to come from Sirius. So that's cool. To me this is that reminder, and I wear it. I've been wearing it every day so that I can just remind myself and have that intention be activated within me as, yeah. And we don't have to always think about it, but it can be helpful to remind us to think about it or to intend around it or to feel into it. So I hope
You
people
know,
will do that.
Galen, if you identify with that dolphin as being representative of Sirius for yourself, you could even leave that out to take in that energy during the conjunction as well.
Exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you for saying that. Yes. So these are hopefully some helpful hints of how to connect with in with this energy and to make the most of it. And definitely, if you missed the first video that TJ and I did, so good. I'll put that in the show notes and also the link to her website where you can connect with her around her magical jewelry. That- So I think that's it for now. So hopefully everyone has a great experience with Jupiter and Sirius, and watching them coming closer together in the morning over the next month or so will be amazing.
Yeah,
So hope
that
people,
in itself will be magical.
yeah, right. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Bye.